At the far eastern edge of Africa, where the Red Sea meets the Indian Ocean, a rugged land juts out into the waves. The Horn of Africa, a place where history, power, and the sea collide. Ethiopia, Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea. 4 nations, 1 crossroads, and at the center, Ethiopia's ancient dream, a way to the sea. Ethiopia, the heart of Africa, home to more than 120 million people. But one thing is missing: a coastline. Since 1993, when Eritrea broke away and became independent, Ethiopia has been landlocked. Once, its lifeline flowed through the port of Assab on Eritrea's Red Sea coast. But after a brutal border war, that lifeline was severed. Today, more than 95% of Ethiopia's trade passes through the tiny neighboring nation of Djibouti, a country barely the size of a small European region, yet strategically priceless. Djibouti, less than 1 million people, almost no natural resources, and yet the most expensive patch of land in Africa. Here at the Bab el-Mandab Strait, tankers, container ships, and warships pass every day. Whoever controls Djibouti controls the gateway to the Suez Canal, one of the world's most vital trade routes. That's why everyone is here: the United States, China, France, Japan, even Saudi Arabia. A tiny country packed with foreign military bases, power, and paranoia. And Ethiopia? It pays hundreds of millions of dollars each year to Djibouti just to access the sea. A ticking bomb under its economy and its national pride. In Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's capital, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed dreams of reclaiming the sea. A country of 120 million people cannot remain landlocked forever, he declares. But this dream stirs unease, especially in Eritrea, unwilling to share its hard-won ports, and in Somalia, struggling to hold itself together after decades of war and extremism. Abiy is searching for options, not only through diplomacy, but through power projection. In northern Somalia lies a self-declared republic called Somaliland, a region that has governed itself since 1991, with its own army, government, and currency, yet no recognition from the world. Here, Ethiopia sees an opening. Reports suggest Abiy Ahmed wants to lease a 50-kilometer strip of coastline to build an Ethiopian naval and commercial port. In exchange, Ethiopia would become the first nation to recognize Somaliland's independence. For Somaliland, that would mean legitimacy. For Somalia, a provocation. And for the region, a powder keg. Because the Horn of Africa is no longer a local issue. It's a global chessboard of interests. China builds ports, railways, and roads, part of its Belt and Road Initiative. The United States patrols the seas, countering both pirates and Beijing's rising presence. Turkey has built its largest overseas military base in Mogadishu, training Somali troops and expanding influence. The United Arab Emirates pour billions into ports at Berbera, Assab, and Aden, not just for trade, but for control. Bases, contracts, and alliances spring up like desert storms. The Horn of Africa has become a strategic hinge between Africa, Arabia, and Asia. The conflicts of the Horn are not only about land, they're about survival. The waters of the Blue Nile, rising in Ethiopia and flowing to Egypt, are another flashpoint. With the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, the largest in Africa, Ethiopia sent a message: we control our own water, but Egypt sees it differently, as a threat to its lifeblood. Once again, the Horn teeters on the edge of a crisis that reaches far beyond Africa. Water, energy, and access to the sea, the same forces that have sparked wars for centuries. And yet, the Horn of Africa is not only a land of crisis, it's a land of potential. A young population, a growing economy, new rail lines linking Addis Ababa to Djibouti. Tech hubs are emerging, entrepreneurs are rising. But as long as power, fear, and geography shape its fate, peace remains fragile. and every move can tip the balance.
The Horn of Africa.
A landscape of dust, salt, and desire. A place where empires rose and fell, where pirates, prophets, and politicians chase the same prize, the road to the sea. Whoever controls the Horn controls Africa's gateway, and whoever controls Africa's gateway may one day hold the key to the future. But the question remains, will the Horn of Africa become a door to hope or the world's next powder keg?